Close your eyes. I want you to imagine something for a second. It's a Tuesday morning. You and your spouse are sitting at the kitchen table, coffee in hand, no rush, no panic. Your phone isn't blowing up. Nobody on your team is waiting on an answer from you before they can move forward. Your clients are being handled. Your jobs are running. Your money is being tracked. And the two of you are just thinking strategically about where you want to take this thing next. Not putting out fires, not answering the same questions you answered last week, not carrying the entire weight of the business on two sets of shoulders that were never meant to hold all of it alone.
Go to your happy place, Peter.
Now open your eyes. How did that feel? Now let me tell you, that's not a fantasy. That is a destination. And today we're drawing the map on how you can get there. Welcome back to Built for Two, CEO Edition. Well, hey there. I'm Kimberly Ferguson, CEO and founder of The Emerald Edge. And we help contractor couples build profitable businesses where the systems are so solid and the team is so strong, the business keeps moving even when you decide to take a Tuesday morning for yourself.
I haven't thought about myself in years.
This is the finale of our foundation series. And if you've been with us from the beginning, thank you. Genuinely. You've done the work. You sat through the frameworks, the action steps, the slightly uncomfortable truths. And today we're going to tie it all together. So if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. And also go back and start from the beginning.
Oh, go back! Oh, go back!
Not because this video won't make sense on its own, because it will, but because everything we're about to talk about will hit so much harder when you've built the foundation beneath it. Because that's exactly what the series has been about. The foundation. And as a builder, you know all about the foundation, right? The infrastructure, the unglamorous, unsexy, absolutely essential work of building a business that doesn't depend entirely on you being in the middle of everything every single day.
You mean it?
Today, we're talking about what it looks like when all of it comes together, the full picture, the end goal, and how to know, really know, when you've gotten there. So let's close this out.
Let's do it.
Let's take a quick look back at the ground we've covered so far, because I want you to see this as a complete picture, not just a collection of individual topics.
Paint you a picture.
So we started with the standards and expectations, the clear framework, if you recall. Because none of this works if the rules only exist in someone's head. Clarity is the foundation of the foundation. Then we talked about delegation, the own framework. Because a business that can only function when both owners are fully involved isn't a business. It's a very elaborate job with a lot of overhead.
It's your responsibility to delegate and sub-delegate.
And then we tackled money conversations, because even the most operationally sound business will struggle if the two people running it can't talk about finances without it turning into something else entirely.
Do you want to talk about this outside?
Then we moved on to client boundaries, the set framework, because your time, your process, and your margins deserve protection. And that protection starts with you.
Set some boundaries. Boundaries. Whoa.
And then we talked about your team, the leader framework, because the ceiling of your business is directly tied to your ability to build people who can carry it without you holding everything up from underneath.
Wait, how many was that?
5 frameworks, 5 areas of your business, and every single one of them pointing toward the same destination, a business that runs without both of you in the middle of it.
Definitely hands.
Now, I really want to be clear about something here, because I think this phrase gets misunderstood. A business that runs without you does not mean a business that you've abandoned. It doesn't mean you disappear, check out, and hope for the best. It doesn't mean your team is just out there winging it while you sit on a beach somewhere pretending to be retired.
Doesn't that sound great?
What it means is this. The business can function at a high level consistently without crisis when you step back from the day-to-day. When you're not available for every single question, when you actually take a vacation without the laptop, when one of you needs to step away for a week and the other one doesn't have to work double hours to compensate. It means the systems do the heavy lifting. The team knows what to do. The clients know what to expect. The money is being tracked and managed. And the two of you are free to lead, really lead, instead of just manage. That's the difference between working in your business and working on it. And it's the difference between a business that grows with you and one that grows despite you constantly being in the way of it? How do you know if you're actually there? How do you measure progress toward a destination that can feel a little abstract? Well, you use what I call the roadmap framework. 7 markers that tell you where you are on the journey and what still needs work. Let's walk through each one.
7?
So first we have R, and that is rules are documented and followed. This goes back to where we started, your standards for each other, for your team, for your clients. And not just understood, they're written down. They're embedded in your processes, and they're followed consistently, not just when someone is watching. If your business still runs primarily on memory, verbal agreements, and, well, we've always done it that way, well, the foundation isn't solid yet. And everything you build on top of it will feel unstable, because it is. The question to ask yourself here is simple. If I handed this business to someone who had never met me, could they understand how it operates from the documentation alone? If the answer is no, well, that's your starting point.
I need to start writing things down.
Next, you have O for ownership is clear at every level. So every role in your business, including the two of you, has a clear owner for every significant area of responsibility. Not shared ownership with no defined authority. Not, we both kind of handle that. Actual explicit, this person owns this ownership. When ownership is clear, accountability is possible. When ownership is murky, accountability becomes a conversation about whose fault something is. And those conversations are exhausting and unproductive, and frankly, nobody has time for them. So clear ownership also means your team knows who to go to for what, which means they stop going to both of you for everything and hoping one of you has a different answer than the other. And then A, we have authority is distributed, not hoarded. This one is about trust, real trust, not I trust you in theory, trust, but I have explicitly given you authority to make this decision and I'm not going to second guess it, trust. A business where all authority lives at the top is a business with a permanent bottleneck at the top. And in contractor couple businesses, that bottleneck has a face and it's probably yours. Distributing authority doesn't mean giving up control. It means defining the boundaries of control clearly enough that other people can operate confidently within them. Your team should be making decisions every day that never reach your desk, not because you're uninvolved, but because you've built a structure that doesn't require your involvement for things that aren't yours to decide. Then we have D, decisions happen without you. This is the proof point for everything above. When your standards are documented, ownership is clear, and authority is distributed, decisions start happening without you, naturally, consistently, correctly. Your team handles the day-to-day. Your project managers make calls within their authority. Your clients get responses without everything routing through you first. And you find out about most of it in a weekly update rather than a mid-afternoon phone call that derails your entire day. If you're still the answer to most questions in your business, the infrastructure isn't fully there yet. And that's okay. That's what the frameworks are for. But it's worth being honest about where you actually are versus where you want to be. And then M, we have money is tracked, understood, and managed proactively. A business that runs without you needs financial visibility that doesn't depend on one person holding all the numbers in their head. That means your profit and loss is current and reconciled. Your job costing is accurate. Your cash flow is being projected, not just reported after the fact. And both of you understand what the numbers are telling you well enough to make strategic decisions based on them. And this is where the monthly money meeting we talked about earlier in the series becomes non-negotiable. Because financial clarity isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice. And a business that loses track of its financial picture, even temporarily, is a business that's vulnerable in ways that they don't always show up until it's too late. Next, we have A for accountability exists inside the team, not just from the top. This one is a sign of truly mature businesses. When your team holds each other accountable, when a missed deadline or a drop ball gets addressed within the team before it ever reaches you, you've built something special. That kind of culture doesn't happen by accident. It happens when expectations are clear, ownership is defined, and the team has been given enough authority and trust to take their work seriously. People rise to the level of accountability that the culture around them demands. Your job as a leader of this business is to build the culture intentionally, to model accountability between the two of you, to address issues directly and consistently, and to create an environment where doing good work and owning your outcome is just how things are done around here. And then P is profit is intentional, not accidental. This is the one I want to spend a little extra time on because it's the one that separates businesses that survive from businesses that thrive. A lot of contractor couples are making money. Revenue's coming in, jobs are getting done. But when you look at what's actually making it to the bottom line, what's left after every expense, every payroll, every material cost, every overhead dollar, well, the number's smaller than, let's be honest, it should be. Sometimes much smaller. That's because profit without intention is just whatever's left over. And whatever's left over has a way of quietly disappearing into inefficiency, underpricing, scope creep, and expenses that nobody's really watching. Intentional profit means you know your numbers, you know your margin on every job, you know which services are actually making you money and which ones are eating it. You know what your pricing needs to be to hit your targets, not what the market will bear, not what your competitor charges, but what your business needs to be sustainable and growing. That's not bookkeeping, that's strategy. And it's exactly what we're going to be diving into in our next series. So here's what I want you to do right now. And I mean right now, not later, not this weekend. Now, go through those 7 markers, roadmap. And for each one, ask yourself honestly, are we there? Partially there? Do we have real work to do? Not where you want to be, not where you tell yourself that you are, where you actually are. Because the couples who make the most progress are not the ones who are the farthest along. They're the ones who are the most honest about where the gaps are. Because you cannot close a gap you've not acknowledged. This isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. And clarity, as we said all the way back in video 1, is the whole point. So this week, sit down with your spouse and do a roadmap audit together. Go through each of the 7 markers and give yourself an honest score, 1 to 10, for where you currently are. Then identify your lowest score. That's the priority, not the one that's most comfortable to work on, the one that needs the most attention. And if you go through that audit and you realize the gaps are significant, or if you look at each other and you realize you've been so deep in the day-to-day that you haven't had the bandwidth to build any of this, well, that's exactly what we're here for. This is the work we do with contractor couples every single day. We help you build the foundation, close the gaps, and create a business that works for you instead of the other way around. So if you're ready to stop surviving and start building something that actually lasts, book a free strategy call with our team. Links below. We'd love to help you build your roadmap. When we started this series, we talked about mind reading, about the invisible expectations that create friction between spouses, between partners, between business owners and their teams and their clients. And everything we've built since then, every framework, every action step, every uncomfortable truth has been pointing toward one thing: a business where nothing has to be read between the lines, where the rules are clear, the roles are defined, the money is understood, and the team is strong enough to carry it, where you and your spouse can show up as leaders, not firefighters, as partners, not competitors for the same mental bandwidth. That's what the foundation makes possible. Not a perfect business, not a business without challenges, but a business with the structure to handle challenges without them handling you. Rules documented and followed, ownership clear at every level, authority distributed, not hoarded, decisions happening without you, money tracked, understood, and managed proactively, accountability living inside the team, profit intentional, not accidental. That's your roadmap. And now you have it. Now, if you've made it through this entire series, first, I'm genuinely proud of you. That is real commitment. And it tells me that you're serious about building something that lasts, which is exactly why I'm excited to tell you what's coming up next. Future Kimberly here. I was going through the video and realized that I introed a completely different series than what I ended up actually moving forward with. So what we're actually moving forward with next is going to challenge you in a completely different way than this series did. Because while the foundation series was all about building the structure around you, well, the next series is about building the structure within you. The beliefs that you're carrying, the identity you've been operating from, the mindset that got you to 6 figures, and the very different mindset you're going to need to get to 7. So that's exactly what we're diving into in our next series, Built for Two, the mindset shift, because your business can't outgrow the way you think about it. So make sure you're subscribed because that one is going to be worth the wait. This has been Built for Two, where systems keep your business steady, strategy helps it grow, and building it with your soulmate makes the whole adventure worth it. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next series.